So today we're going to talk about easements. So I get this question sometimes, what is an easement? So an easement, simply put, it's access to someone else's property. So for example, this is 31st Street. First house is right here. Second house is on the back of 31st Street. So this is an easement. So Andy owns here, Bob owns here. In order for Bob to access his own property, he needs to travel through Andy's property. So this is where an easement is created to enter the property. Another easement could be SDG&E. They need access to your property to go service their meters. So if there isn't any easement, guess what? Bob cannot access his own property legally. So what happens? You get into a situation where the property is landlocked. So this property right here in the green, one time a guy called me and he said, hey, I want to sell my lot. I went out and checked it out. So I show up to his property and he's landlocked. There's houses all around. His lot is right in the middle. There isn't any way to access it. So basically, he asked me, hey Voltaire, how much is my lot worth? And we're in San Diego, and I tell him, dude, I'll give you $500 for your lot because it's worth nothing. So make sure when you're buying a house that you know of all the easements affecting the property or not affecting the property. Someone had a good question. They said, how much does an easement cost? So this is how it works. So let's say Bob and Andy own these pieces of property. And Bob told Andy, hey, Andy, I bought this property behind you, but I have no access to it. Can you give me an easement in writing and give me access? At that point, it's a negotiation game. Andy could say flat out no to Bob, or Andy could say, you know what, give me some money. And at that point, you just negotiate what it's going to be. Now, there's a couple ways to create an easement, and that's by grant or reservation or prescription, adverse possession. So the first way, grant or reservation, let's say Bob owned this entire lot at one point, and then he built two houses and he sold one off to Andy. At that point, Bob decided to live in the back house. So for himself, he created an easement because he knew he would need one in the future. The other way to create an easement is through adverse possession, meaning for 5 years, Bob, without permission, went and trespassed his way through Andy's. And for 5 straight years, Andy never said anything. At that point, an easement is created by prescription and giving Bob the legal right to trespass onto his property whenever he wants in the future or to whoever he sells the property to. So that's the way you create